Warning, we are about to spoil the entirety of the first season of Black Lagoon. If you haven't seen the show, and I recommend you do see it, then please leave the video for now. But if you have seen the show, or for some reason don't trust my recommendation, even though I am the perfect human being, then stick around. Alright, Cameron. The producers say we can't suck off the show too much, otherwise they'll weld our assholes shut and put a new one on our forehead.
Aw, it's so scary. I think I'm gonna cry. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cinema Roulette. Dear Lord, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure if we've, seen this before. It's a new one for us, I think.
I don't think we're allowed to make that joke. That video you recorded about 3 years ago, I'm sure still isn't out.
Oh, it isn't out? No, that's why I was making it, because this is the first time we've actually talked about it on our channel.
It is, and we're going to just suck it off super hard.
Yeah, this is a show that me and Justin both fucking love. It was the third anime I've ever seen, and goddamn is it fucking awesome.
This is an anime I found by watching Toonami. I randomly turned it on, saw a maid shooting up a bar with a shotgun umbrella, and I went, yeah, I'll watch this.
Hell yeah. No, this show is fucking fantastic. It's one of my all-time favorite animes. This is Black Lagoon.
I wanted to introduce it.
You can do a second one if you want.
No.
Okay. So, we can,
Oh my god, Cameron, we got to talk about Black Lagoon now.
Yes. Yes, Black Lagoon, ladies and gentlemen. I debate whether or not just to leave that little bit in after the intro.
What?
I'm just debating whether or not to leave that little awkward bit in after the intro.
I might be editing this one, so we'll see. Whoever decides.
Yeah. Yes, this is Black Lagoon, everybody. Oh my god, I fucking love this show.
If you did not like this show, these are not going to be the episodes for you at all.
Yeah, I don't know how you wouldn't like the show, but
if you don't like fun, violence, subtle character development, and generally just being good.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's because the dub is better than the sub.
Mm-hmm. And we're not even joking about the subtle character development, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. I will say, though, this one, since for some reason we seem to change how we do each TV series as it comes, this one's going to be a bit weird since the show, each couple of episodes are kind of connected. Like, there's, of course, a flowing plot throughout the series, but there's little arcs between 2 episodes to sometimes, I think the final arc in season 2 is 6 or 7 episodes.
It can't be. I don't think it's longer than 6. I'm pretty sure it's just 6 episodes.
Yeah, I think it's 6 episodes for the final arc of the show. But we're going to kind of separate this into arcs, talk about them that way, since there is a flowing narrative in a sense.
But it's not really like a narrative. It's character development is the
yeah. It's a character development sort of almost case study in a way.
Yeah, because it's every 2 or 3 episodes is a quote unquote arc in this show, depending on how you link them. Usually, like there are longer arcs, like the Nazi arc that we love so much. But I think other than that, besides that, and the final one, I think it's either batches of 2 or 3 episodes that are arcs.
Yes. Sorry. A yawn sort of came on and then just stopped halfway.
Nice.
It was like, okay.
Black Lagoon snapped you out of it.
And we'll try our damnedest not to move on to season 2 in case... Because I'll assume someone will, like, watch season 1, then come back to the episode.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to believe that, and I don't want to spoil season 2 or the OVA for them.
Yeah,
too much.
It's because they're both fucking amazing. This whole show is just fantastic, save for I think 2 little problems that we have with it.
Two problems. One of which is from season 2, and no, not
The
season
OVA.
2. It's from the OVA, and it bugs the shit out of me.
Yeah, one's from the OVA and one is from this season, which we will get to. So,
yeah, the one from the OVA, I'd like to point out, is like 1 line of dialogue.
But it's enough to kind of ruin what they were going for.
Well, not exactly, not completely ruin it, but it was something that didn't need to be there. But we will get to that another time.
Without further ado, we should probably get to actually explaining what the episodes are
about. Yeah, sure. So, the quick summary of the first arc, which is 2 episodes long, if I remember. Yeah, 2 episodes long.
Yep.
In this one, we're going to meet all our main cast members. We have the nice boy from Japan, who we're going to call Rock because I forget his actual name.
Rokugama or something like Rakugama. Or
Shut the fuck up, Cameron. His name is Rock.
I know. I'm just saying they call him.
I am Rock now. God, that's corny.
It's funny because that's basically the mindset of the people from Lagoon Company. Is they're like, oh, my name's Rakugama, and he's like, you're just Rock.
You're Rock. It's overly complicated. Yeah, it's Rock.
It's Rock.
There is Rock. He was an average Japanese businessman who was transporting a disc of blackmail. And then a bunch of mercenaries, Dutch, Revy, and Benny, who mostly stays on the ship because he's kind of the electronic nerd, hijack the disc, and Revy's like, yo, we could get hostage money. So they kidnap Rock. Sadly, that doesn't go as planned because his bosses don't really give a shit about him because Japan's work ethic is really terrible, honestly.
He works a very, office job type thing, day in and day out, basically.
Basically cocksucking, we'll do this show later.
Yeah, he's basically a grunt.
He doesn't get to have fun.
Yeah. Basically, he's a grunt in the company, and obviously, company doesn't give a shit about him, so big surprise!
Yeah, they're kind of like, we'll say we gave you a raise and send money to your family.
Yeah.
But we're kind of going to send mercs after you, and you're fucked.
Basically, it's like, oh, don't worry, we'll go to the funeral.
Wait, oh my god. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm trying not to add too much.
Yeah, it's hard, right?
It is. But they send, like I just said, they send mercenaries after the Lagoon Company. They are on a small torpedo boat. The mercs come in helicopters and try to shoot the shit out of them. Revy shoots back, but they have armored. They
Welcome to intermission.
Okay, sorry, my brain completely broken. We need to backtrack.
We fucked up in the first episode. Damn it!
I'm sorry. My brain wants to talk about a bunch of things at once, and it can't because I only have one mouth.
I know. I get it. Oh God! If you had several mouths, I don't even want to imagine.
I would talk. I would talk about every Black Lagoon episode at once.
It'd be like one of those fucking YouTube videos where it's like this thing 1,000,000 times.
Or Jack's films when he had every Yai intro playing at once.
Yeah, that was great.
Okay, they do take Rock back to land, and they're not the worst people to get kidnapped by, except Revy almost shooting him in the goddamn head.
Because of a fit of rage.
She does that.
Yeah, but they get off, and he's like, yo, come on, we're going to the bar. And he's like, wait, aren't I a hostage?
We're leaving. Oh, great, I'm coming. But they go to the bar, and the mercs show up after Rock and Revy have a little bit of a drinking contest. Revy shows off why she's called Two Hands and is the most badass character in the entire show.
Hell yeah.
And Dutch tries to say, yeah, we're just going to leave you here because you weren't even part of the main plan. And Rock's like, fuck no, I'm coming with you.
Exactly.
So they leave, go back to the boat, and then the mercs start chasing them with a helicopter. The helicopter is super hard to take out because it's a military-grade helicopter. What do you want?
Yep.
But
With
the head of the
heat-seeking
mercs
missiles.
is kind of a psychopath,
Just a little.
and just wants to play with them. So he chases them up to a canal where they'll basically be forced to turn around and come back, and they see a bad omen of a big beach boat. And they're like, well, we're fucked. But then Rock gets a stupid idea. It's like, we're going to use those torpedoes. But they're in the air. We'll just launch the boat into the air.
Yeah, because they do some foreshadowing. It's like, man, all we have are these stupid torpedoes. Well, actually, they do that earlier, too. It's like, hey, you're taking cover under torpedoes, Rock.
Yeah, and...
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, that counts as foreshadowing. I would say more of a Chekhov's gun, but...
Well, yeah. But...
So they ramp off the boat, fire a torpedo, and it goes into the cockpit of the helicopter, crushing the guy's face as Rock flips off the middle finger, and they land the boat safely. Well, as safely as you can from the height of a helicopter.
Yeah, that scene in the show is great because it shows, okay, this is how over the top we're gonna get.
Like, the bar fight, pretty over the top, but not, like, more over the top than, say, John Wick.
Yeah.
I know John Wick wasn't out at the time, guys. I'm just giving a fair comparison that most people will understand. Jesus fucking Christ. But then they're like, yeah, we're able to launch boats 50 feet in the air and then fire a torpedo.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat.
It's pretty neato. It's like, yeah, this is the tone we are going to have, ladies and gentlemen.
But then they deliver the disc. It turns out the Lagoon Company often works for the Russian mob. Rock's boss is like, okay, well, just come back with us. And he's like, I was already dead.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't you forget you told me I was already dead?
And I make it sound corny, but it was actually pretty neato.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, golly gee, what do I do now? And then Revy says, hey, there's this pretty cool company who's looking for a new guy.
I think Balalaika is actually the one that says that.
No, it's Revy.
Is it Revy?
She's like saying, well, I heard there's this band of pirates. And then Rock kind of finishes her sentence.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew someone. I knew she didn't say the whole thing.
And that was the end of Arc 1. Wow, that was overly convoluted. I will be more precise in the next one. But first, we're going to talk about this first arc.
It's basically the perfect introduction to the show, if I'm being honest.
It really is. And I still have... It's sort of like a Cowboy Bebop in the way of... I don't know how they make all the characters so likable within minutes of screen time.
Exactly. And it's incredible, too, because fucking... Rock is literally introduced, he's monologuing, and the first thing we see of him in real life is him getting punched in the face by Revy.
No, it's Dutch.
Or it's Dutch, yeah, him getting punched in the face by Dutch. But yeah, I think it's just because, like, the characters, just through the dialogue and their actions and the way they, like, carry themselves, it's just they're established immediately, this is who they are.
Yeah, and this is kind of where the English dub beats the sub. Revy has a perfect voice here. Dutch also has a perfect voice here. We're just hearing it. You know the type of person they are.
Exactly. Like, yeah, this is like Bebop, where, like, the American dub is so much better. Yeah, I think her name's Marie Kendricks. She does a perfect job. Perfect job being Revy.
It's this very intimidating but still high-pitched voice. Like, you can tell she's a loose cannon, but also she is a terrifying person.
Yeah.
Dutch is calm and collected and can kick the shit out of you because he's a buff boy and his daddy.
And he has... I didn't expect that. I'm sorry. Dutch's daddy. Shut the fuck up.
Rock also has great voice work of still being able to talk his way out of a situation, but still sounding like a wimp at the same time.
Yeah, like, especially in the introductory series, he's kind of a little bit of a bitch. Like, he gets better later, but yeah, it's just the transition from him being a bitch to kind of accepting his situation is just perfect. The voice actor for Rock does a perfect job with it.
We should look up the names of the voice actors.
Yeah, well, I know Marie Kendrick's off the top of my head because she's fucking
she's
Revy.
amazing.
She's Revy. I mean, come on. But yeah, no, that's the thing. Like you said, Dutch is just cool motherfucker and buff boy, and then he's just chill.
But all the voice actors do a very good job. It's usually only side characters who are there for 2 minutes who can fuck up kind of how they sound.
Yeah, and even then they usually do a really good job with the side characters. Like this latest arc was the only one where I really noticed, man, the side characters are not voiced well.
Oh yeah, the final arc of season 1.
That was the only place I really noticed it. But yeah, no, they just, the voice acting all around is fantastic. Like whoever they hired, they got the perfect voices for it, and that's just so good. So yeah, moving on to different things beside the voice actors.
I was gonna say with the first arc, just as a quick loop back around, this is basically the perfect way to introduce the show.
Yeah.
And again, if you still haven't seen it and you're already in this far in the episode, stop now, please, and go watch the show.
Please, dude.
At least season 1, then you can come back.
It's amazing. It's really fucking good. Like, if you're a fan of over-the-top action anime, you need to see this.
If you're just a fan of action.
Yeah, in general, you need to see this.
Damn it.
What'd you do?
I'm trying to remember in the script what we called this arc. Nazi morals, yes. I think is what we called it.
Yeah, it was Nazi morals.
Yeah. Yes, we're big enough nerds to have names for all the arcs. The first arc is just called The Beginning. I'm very uncreative. Leave me alone.
Yeah, Nazi morals. It starts with Ring-Ding Ship Chase, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
This one is 4 episodes long?
5.
5?
5. Because it's Ring-Ding Ship Chase, then the 3 episodes in the Nazi thing, and then the one with the argument.
I'm pulling out my collector's edition of Black Lagoon.
I can tell you right now, it's 5.
I know, but I'm just going to make sure. Yep, that's 5. Okay. Also, someone who has seen the show would debate, how the hell is Ring-Ding Ship Chase a part of this? Well...
I was waiting for you to say something. I didn't know if you were stretching. I thought you were being cocky, like, well... Cracks fingers.
Column A, column B. But... Okay, Ring-Ding Ship Chase is definitely connected. My brain is wanting to make up words, and it's walking over itself at the moment.
You got this, buddy. You got this.
Actually, no. I'll explain why Ring-Ding Ship Chase is connected after the summary. Because plot-wise, you don't need to bring up Ring-Ding Ship Chase.
Yeah.
All that happens there is they get tricked. They get tricked by someone, almost get killed by 3 boats, but Revy takes them all out, and the Russian mafia blows up the guy who screwed them over.
They get tricked by the dog from that one show.
Johnny Test. He's voiced by Dookie from Johnny Test,
Dookie.
which I
That's
fucking
his
love.
name. That's his name. Dookie, yeah. They're tricked by Dookie from Johnny Test.
They were tired of dealing with his shit. Moving on. Thank you. I'll be here for however much longer this episode is, honestly. Okay, so the main part of this arc is there is a Nazi U-boat that was blown up, well, kind of sunk off the shore of Roanapur in kind of a zone of the ocean that no country technically owns.
Yeah, basically no man's land.
And it has a painting apparently done by Hitler.
Yep.
Some collector calls up the Lagoon Company and says, "Yo, it's right here. Go get it. No one should bother you." However, a bit of a spoiler for this arc, he also sent a bunch of neo-Nazis to also go after it.
Mm-hmm.
Rock and Revy go down there, scuba dive down there, and actually do get the painting at first. But also, Rock kind of gets on Revy's nerves, and they have a bit of an argument, or even a heart-to-heart. I'm not sure which category you would put it in.
With
honestly.
Revy, honestly, it's kind of both.
The answer is yes.
Yeah. When they're on the ship, she explains to him her morals, and they're kind of a bit fucked up, but they explains it, and you can kind of see how she comes to that conclusion when she explains her backstory a bit in the sub.
which we'll get to. But
Yeah.
this is a summary.
I'm saying that happens in the sub during the same conversation. Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we'll get more in detail on her backstory.
Oh, okay.
And shit.
All right.
Because this is the arc we're going to talk about the most.
Yeah, this is going to be a long one, folks.
This is going to be a long section. Okay. But then the Nazis also come down at the same time. Dutch and Benny can't do anything because the neo-Nazi U-boat not U-boat. They have like a big tanker basically, and they have MG-42s and basically just way more firepower. So Dutch and Benny are caught back. They can't contact Revy and Rock. The Nazis get the painting. Revy shoots a couple of them, tries to go up, but almost gets killed by an MG-42. Rock pulls her back.
And it's probably like, yo, we should probably duck out of this.
Yo, you can't handle... You have one rifle with one clip.
Yeah. Because they give him an underwater...
Sorry, gun nuts, I meant magazine.
Rock gives them... Or, not Rock. Dutch gives them underwater guns for this mission.
Yeah.
She doesn't have her usual...
Well, just one gun.
Yeah.
Rock isn't allowed to have one.
Yeah, she doesn't have her usual dual pistols.
Then they regroup. Dutch and Revy go and shoot up the neo-Nazi boat. Revy almost goes far enough to kill civilians, but luckily Dutch snaps her out of it.
I love that.
They find out who the hell wanted the pain. They kill all the Nazis, make fun of some classic cliches, and then go home.
Mm-hmm.
Then, in the final episode, Calm Down 2 Men, the final episode of this arc, Rock and Revy are sent out to do errands with basically shipping alcohol to bars, getting guns from a ripoff church. And I think they also get money from someone else.
Yeah.
No, they talked to Balalaika, who is the head of the Russian Mafia, since I haven't mentioned her name yet. And she is currently going through hours of videotape from the back room of sex shops in order to try and find who took her guns, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
But Rock actually does help save the day because he realizes the ripoff church who sells people weapons. When they're like, yeah, we can't give you the grenade launchers, someone else bought it. Rock kind of blackmails them like, I understand you took the guns from the Russians, and we're kind of more friends with them than you.
Yeah.
So if you give us the grenade launcher, we'll keep our mouths shut.
Pretty much. He does a good job of like handling the situation because Revy's about to shoot the place up, and then he's like, we can handle it this way.
Because he's a businessman, and
Yep.
he knows how to talk business.
Yep.
Which then kind of culminates in a massive argument in the middle of what would you call it? Like a food district, basically?
Yeah, it's basically a food court. Yeah. Outdoor.
Yeah, just a food court in the middle of town. They have a little argument, but they make up in the end. We're going to talk about this a fuck ton more, so...
Yeah.
Okay. That's
it, right? And then they learn...
Yeah, then they basically... After the argument, gain kind of more of an gain more respect for one another, and then head home.
There's just an Adventure Time clip I'm thinking of where Finn and Jake had an argument that they talk it out, and you know how it goes, like Adventure Time, they just go, mutual respect, fist bump.
Nice. Okay, so where the fuck to start with this one?
Well, let's start, I mean, because we explained the plot, should we just go right into how the character development and how everything connects?
Yeah, I got us explain. Because the flowing character... Okay, hold on. Let me words correctly.
Sure.
I'm having a lot of problem with that this episode. Because in Black Lagoon, there's the A plot, which is basically whatever the arc is, and then the B plot is more the emotional growth of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Even though this is a show that's over the top with killer maids, Nazis, and, flying boats that take out attack choppers.
Yeah.
There's still very grounded character development. The reason Ring Ding Ship Chase, even though you could technically separate it from every other arc, the B plot is connected here because it's the first time Rock really sees Revy start killing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he saw it in the bar, but he keeps questioning her on, like, her motives in what she's doing. And she's kind of a dick to him because he's a coward.
Yeah, he is a bit of a bitch in the first couple episodes.
Which, I mean, kind of understandable
Yeah.
from where he's from as well.
Literally being thrown from regular everyday office job to fucking mercenaries, man.
To pirate.
Pirate, yeah.
And it's kind of this moment of Revy killing all these people that makes him start to question her more.
Mm-hmm.
Which then we move to the Nazi plot where because all they needed was the pain, but Revy starts robbing the grave of all the Nazi soldiers.
Yeah.
Which he sees as low, which I understand. Grave robbing is pretty low.
Yeah.
And Revy sits down and has this just absolutely cold stare. A kind of terrifying dead-eye stare.
Yeah, even by Revy standards, it's pretty fucking scary.
And she explains her worldview of the world runs on money. Anything sentimental is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
There's things, someone will pay for them. That's all you need to care about. Because she was raised in... Is this where she talks about the cops that beat her? I forget.
Yeah, they do mention that.
Yeah,
she's
she
like, oh,
mentions
no one
you... What?
Because she's like, oh yeah, like no one came to the help of a poor Chinese bitch when that happened. So
yeah, she is a Chinese American who lived in the ghetto of, I'm going to just say New York City because it's always New York City. Like,
it is always New York City, isn't it?
Every fucking time, it's always New York. It'd make more sense in New Jersey, but it's New York.
Mm-hmm.
And she explains that when she was little, she did somewhat like believe in God and more positive in the world until one night when cops basically came and beat her just for fun.
Yeah. And then she went and killed the guy, and then that's when the worldview comes in.
Well, she killed someone, and that someone, I think we either find out here or later, was her dad.
Yeah.
And it was kind of that moment where she turned to more of this life of just, as long as money and power were important, and just to take it away from the people who waste it, aka the rich.
Mm-hmm. Which is a little hypocritical considering your main goal is to make as much money as possible, but I mean...
Well, that's where it kind of gets brilliant when she finally gets on the boat.
Yeah.
When she gets on the Nazi boat. Am I talking too much this episode?
No, you're doing great. I'm just letting you do it.
Okay.
I don't want to interrupt. You're on a roll.
I do always question that in some episodes when I talk a bunch. It's like, Cameron, do you want to talk so you don't just sound like I'm taking up all the air?
I wouldn't be able to add anything else without sounding redundant. If there is something else, I'll chime in. Don't worry.
Okay. But when they get on the boat, Revy, because the other fight scenes we've seen her in, she's always smiling. This was a point even made by Rock, I think twice.
Yeah, in the ring-ding ship chase, she's like, she's smiling. Or no, even in the opening, too, she's like, she's smiling.
Yeah, in the bar fight.
Yeah. Yeah, like she's always smiling. It's kind of fun and a good time. But...
I don't know why your Rock voice is a high-pitched snake.
No, my Revy voice is a kind of ish, right? No, Rock or Revy?
No, because you just said that she's smiling. And it sounds sort of like a high-pitched snake.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I do it so gravelly, because, I mean, Revy, I understand, but, like, Rock, it's like she's smiling. I don't know. You're right.
It's hard to do Rock's voice now.
It is. It's harder to nail down voice.
But here, we quickly can just see something is wrong because she isn't smiling. She's walking like fucking Michael Myers and talking in a dead tone.
Just the stone face, no expression, and just slowly walking through the hallway and killing people. And really tips you off that something isn't right here. She's mad.
And this all comes to a head when she gets to cockpit. I don't know. Is it called like the bridge or the
it's
cockpit?
The bridge, yeah.
I don't know.
It's the bridge.
Basically, the driving section of the ship, and there's a bunch of civilians there who are not at all part of the neo-Nazi.
Can you hear me?
Yes?
Okay, the bridge.
The bridge. She gets to the bridge and nearly just executes a bunch of innocent civilians. Luckily, Dutch comes in and basically slaps some sense into her, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because she shoots a guy in the leg and is toying with him and is about to fucking just execute him. And I forget the speech he gave. I love. He's like, like the difference between a shooter and a hitman or something. He's like, a hitman's professional. Shooter just goes and shoots up a place.
And he's like, go. If you want to be a shooter, go and climb a fucking bell tower for all I care.
Yeah, go and climb a fucking bell tower and just start shooting. But we're professionals, basically.
And this kind of, before continuing, rolling back on what you said of her being hypocritical, I think what's going on here is she didn't believe everything she said. And she's trying to force herself to do that because the whole mindset of like, everything, there's nothing sentimental, there's nothing to care about, it's just money.
Yeah.
Then yeah, you would probably be an absolute cold-hearted psychopath who's just killing people.
But we've seen before that she isn't like that.
Yeah, we know she is, like, she has fun killing, but she isn't heartless about it, I get. Or heartless in the way that she was here.
Yeah, like, this is something completely different. You're right, that could be, I didn't even think about that. That could be taken as her trying to convince herself that that's the way it works. Huh.
And she does gain some of herself back after Dutch slaps some sense into her.
Mm-hmm.
And even we'll talk about the funny scene later because I just want to stay on the character development for now.
Yeah.
But there is a scene at the end of the real Nazi part where she says that she doesn't want to work with Rock. There's no way he will make it here.
Yeah, he's like, he's from another world. It's like, there's no way I can work with this guy. And then it all kind of comes to a head in the next episode.
In Calm Down 2 Angry Men, which in
Just
my
Calm
opinion
Down 2
is...
Men.
Calm Down 2 Men?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Which is the best episode in the series.
In my opinion, is the best, including like all the action scenes later. This is probably my favorite episode in the entire series.
It's the episode that showed, we can have fun and shoot up things and have cool action, but it's more than that. This has more depth to it than that. It's a brilliant episode.
This is about characters, and basically Revy keeps being her sort of bitchy self, trying to make fun of Rock and keep him down.
Yeah, because she said, I think earlier, it was in the Nazi arc, she's like, oh, if that ever happens, I'm gonna kill you or something.
If he ever got kidnapped,
I'm saying like, because that's why like when they're at the table, she goes to try and kill him because.
If you ever look at it from the perspective of like a normal person again, I will fucking kill you.
Yeah, she says that earlier, and so that was.
Yeah, she said that on the U-boat.
Yeah, so that was a little. That was some foreshadowing for that there too.
Yeah, and she keeps trying to piss off Rock, but at the rip-off church, the head nun, would that be a proper term, or is there like a...
No, that's a proper term.
The head nun who runs the whole thing, kind of, after Rock solves the situation, kind of brings up the fact, you can't solve everything with a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And Rock almost teasingly brings this back up to her, and she tries to scare him like usual and be like, I don't think I heard you right. And then Rock fucking snaps.
Yeah, he kind of like puts his food down. He's like, okay, you heard me. I'm not going to apologize about it.
And then just I don't know what to call it. Like, the most intense duel of the show.
Yeah. Because she goes to kill him, and Rock like basically sets up and defends himself, and she goes to kill him, and she shoots her gun, but then he parries it in close range, and while he's holding her hand, he just kind of fucking puts her in her place.
I don't. This isn't about the scene itself, but the whole term of like put her in her place. I always connect that to the fucking douchebags of the internet.
Oh yeah, well I can see that. Like they do use that a lot, don't they?
I don't even think he really puts her in her place. He gets it back to equal footing between the two of them because Revy kept thinking she's so much higher and mightier than him.
But no,
they both.
Yeah.
But they bring up the point of like, they don't know anything about each other, and assuming it is going to be a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she's like, you know nothing about me. He's like, yeah, what do you know about me? What do you know about what I went through?
The part I love the most is when Rock gets probably the most furious.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, back in my home, you woke me up. I was just part of the daily commute, kissing my boss's ass. Now I'm on the other side of the world, and I'm supposed to kiss your ass. What type of joke is that?
Exactly. Exactly. He's like, I just got away from this shit, and now it's happening all over again. Give me a break.
What kind of sick joke is this? And it's this great moment of just pure fury coming from him. And I love it also because not many other animes do this so early.
Well, not many other shows, period, do this when it comes to character development, because it's also kind of breaking down that one cliche of, in an action show, it's like, oh, they have issues, but then they save each other's life. Everything's peachy, back to normal. No, they get the mission, they save each other's lives, but there's still tension there.
Or even the cliche of like, oh, the guy who's new to this world of action.
Yeah.
Have it be good guys, bad guys, whatever. Who's also a wimp.
Yeah.
It usually takes until like near the end of the series, and then it's like they'll have this type of argument or this growing moment. But here, Rock snaps pretty quickly.
Yeah, Rock snaps pretty quickly, and Revy learns that again, it's mutual respect that's earned. Like, everything comes to a head. Like, they have this big ol' argument, like, duke it out, basically, and then they basically talk it out.
Yeah, and Rock, like, brings up how paid she is, and Revy kind of snaps under the pressure as well, where...
Yeah.
he says, like, if there isn't a Robin Hood, why don't you become Robin Hood?
Yeah, exactly, because she's like, in this town there is no Robin Hood. Why don't you become Robin Hood?
No, what is it that makes her... It's like, if you shoot me here, you'll only prove my point.
Yeah, I love that.
You can just keep chasing your tail. And she just kind of snaps in tears of going, that's all I know how to do, and punches him.
Exactly. And even then, he doesn't even flinch. He's just like, keeps talking and kind of casually pushes her fist off his cheek, and you can see the bruise mark.
Yeah, he doesn't even fall back from the punch.
No. Just keeps going on. It's a great character moment because, well, like you said, Rock has been kind of a wimp up until this point, but here he just snaps and puts... I don't know how else to put it. He does. He puts her in her place, and they gain a mutual respect for each other again. It's back on equal footing.
And you can kind of see when Revy grows the respect for him because her tone shifts back to her usual kind of sarcasm.
Yeah.
Who's the bigger idiot? Dumbass!
Yeah. But yeah, it's a great character moment and something you really don't see in a lot of shows, period, regardless if it's anime or television.
And also, instead of saying, oh, well, they like each other now, the show just... Well, this is a stupid way to put it, but the show just shows it later of Revy being like, hey, grab me a sniper rifle, and then Rock grabs it without question.
Yeah, like you can see kind of just how the character development slowly just grows. He just slowly becomes more accustomed to the situation.
We even see a bit of his growth in the... I didn't realize actually how much growth is in the final arc of this season, but we will get to that.
Yeah, because first we have to talk about Roberta.
Some fans would be angry if we didn't mention everyone's favorite shipping moment where Revy and Rock do a cigarette kiss.
Yeah. It's not so even, it's kind of a kiss. It's obviously played out that, but it's like more like he's just lighting her cigarette with his cigarette.
See, you're not part of the ship, Cameron. If you're part of the ship, it means much more than that.
Why, are you part of the ship?
I don't care.
Exactly.
I know. I'm just saying it for the people who do.
I know, and we love those people.
Plus, they would be a cute couple.
They would be. No, absolutely. Heck, they kind of are towards the end of the show, but again, we'll get to that.
I don't know how much they grow in the manga. I still need to read it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm trying to think if there's anything else on the whole character development thing besides just I love that moment specifically because it's growth. It didn't need, and you still get kind of an action scene with more tension than anything up to that point.
Yeah, it's a different kind of tension, exactly.
I mean, sure, there's the obvious thing of like, what is Rock going? Yeah, sure, they're going to kill off Rock. It's halfway through season 1.
Yeah, right.
But it's more of a moment of like, is he going back off, or is Revy going to back off? And neither do, in a sense.
Yeah, no, they both kind of stand their ground and just duke it out, and just
until Revy drops it after getting kind of mutual respect for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's by far the best episode in the series. So.
Okay, enough about this boring fucking cinema stuff. Let's talk about killing Nazis.
Killing Nazis.
I mean, we've already said Nazis enough times to get this video demonetized, so why stop now?
Justin, this is America. They should be, praising that.
Yeah, but YouTube is a British company.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the main headquarters is in Britain.
I thought it was in California was the headquarters.
No, there is a YouTube space in California, but the main place is Britain.
I didn't know that. Oh, okay. Are you
Unless
sure?
someone tells me I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
YouTube is an American video sharing website headquartered in California.
Damn it.
I knew it. I was like, that doesn't sound right.
I swear I read somewhere it was British. Oh, well. But California... Never mind, we're not getting political.
No, we'll drop it at that.
Drop it there. Okay, the Nazi ship is a lot of fun, mostly because we got to watch Nazis die. And who likes Nazis?
Yeah.
Answer, no one who's smart.
It's just hilarious because, like, even the Nazis are portrayed as super over the top.
They're over the top and they're idiots.
They're idiots, which is great. Because what?
Actually, because they're idiots, because they're Nazis.
Yeah.
But it is kind of great to, even when Revy is clearly fucked in the head and is terrifying, it would be a lie if I said there isn't some catharsis seeing her talk about the 3 little pigs going oink.
Oh,
oink,
that's so fucking scary. God.
as she fucking executes them.
Oh, it's so satisfying. Yeah, because, and it's the thing, like, when they're on the ship and, like, when they're talking about, like, talking to one big guy, it's like, oh, this is your mission, you'll carry it out, and he, like, starts crying. He's like, yes, I'll do it! It's so over the top.
They just eat shit.
And then they just do the wanking dance.
God damn it, you can't just call it the wanking dance.
That's what it is! It looks like what they...
I know it is, you're just not allowed to say it.
I never noticed that until you pointed out to me. I'm like, oh my god, it does look like the jerking off motion.
And there's 2 great comedic moments after they slap sets of the Revy. What is the biggest, like, this 7-foot muscle-bound guy pulls out a golden Luger and runs into Revy?
He talks like a fucking JoJo character. He's like, aha!
I'd say more a Bond villain, but...
Or, yeah, well, Bond villain too, but it's like, haha, so, hello, little girl, marvel at this gun, or something.
Crafted by pure British hands, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then you just see Revy slowly reload her gun, cock it, then shoots him square in the chest.
She's like, what, are you trying to sell me the fucking thing?
Doesn't matter how powerful your gun is. If you have your target, just shoot him.
Yeah, it's great. The thing where they tear down that cliche.
I hate that cliche so much.
Oh, I
know. Just talking for a goddamn hour.
Yeah, it's just like, just shoot them!
And finally, when they get to the head Nazi, Dutch finds him first and calls up the person who assigned them the job.
Yeah.
And they have kind of a fun bickering part where, because it's like this old Nazi who wants the painting.
Mm-hmm.
It just said, if you weren't black, I would say you'd make a good soldier. I'll take that as a compliment. Or I think he says, I won't take that compliment.
Something like that.
And they both mutually agree that they would wish the other person would die.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I sincerely wish that your kind is waved from the planet. Yeah, and I sincerely wish that you rot in hell, you old Nazi fuck, and then crushes the phone or something.
And Revy comes in and says, you want was it like red or black?
Something like that. Yeah, it's like red or black or something. He's like, well, it's not even a bet. It's going to be black.
Fuck it, I'll bet black too. And she tosses the head Nazi one of her pistols. He almost shoots himself and then tries to shoot Dutch, but of course the pistol's empty. Yeah. See, I told you, it's black. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, exactly. Dutch was smart. It's like, that's not even a bet.
And then they just dual execute him.
That's so satisfying. Because fuck Nazis.
Seriously. Oh shit, we're already hitting around the 50-minute mark.
So?
Yeah, this is gonna be a long episode.
Yep. And we're only halfway through it.
Technically, well, I don't think the last arc's gonna be much of a talker.
No, but Roberta's is.
Roberta! Yeah, we'll talk about... hold on. I kind of want to... Can we have a quick technical difficulty?
Sure.
Okay, next. The third arc is the Robertinator, according to what I wrote years ago.
My headphones fell out. I didn't catch the last thing you said.
According to what I wrote years ago is what I said.
Because at this point it's been, what, 3 years?
Yeah, I think it's like 3 years.
Awesome.
So, in this one, we get to kind of see the Lagoon Company are still technically assholes.
Yeah, because it's like, and again, it's great between blurring the line because, like, no one's really a good guy. They're all kind of bad guys in this situation.
Yeah, because the package this time is a child.
The good old Lagoon Company thing of human trafficking.
Heavily implied that this child will either A, be murdered, B, sold as a hostage, or C, a certain type of slave.
Yeah, human trafficking, basically.
Human trafficking, there's the word.
It's human trafficking.
Ow!
What'd you do?
Ow.
You okay?
No.
What'd you do?
I moved my hand down and I caught my headphones and I tore them out of my ears. You ever do that? Like, you get your earbuds caught on something and tug and just...
I don't wear earbuds, so...
Oh, fuck off, Cameron.
But no, I have done that, yes. That
yeah,
hurts,
okay. Revy was up first on watching the kid on the boat. It did not go well and she almost murdered a child. But this time it's played for laughs and not a character development moment.
Yeah. No, it's funny. Because Dutch just hears them yelling and just goes, all right, Rock, it's your turn, or something like that.
And Rock connects with the boy because Rock is still one of those mushy human people. Oh wait, wasn't last arc he says like, I'm just here or something like that?
Yeah. It was a very like Spike Spiegel line. It's like, where do you want to be? Right here where I am now, or something like that.
Because he's on the fence between the human world and the past world. See, it's an explanation that didn't need to be said like that I just did. Anyway.
And that's why the show is brilliant!
Except for that one line.
Oh yeah, but we'll get to that later. Alright, Batman.
But anyway. So Rock kind of connects with the boy a bit more, and he says he's part of these very rich families in South America.
Yeah.
But he was kidnapped by people because his dad is rich or owes people money. The Colombian mafia money.
Yeah, basically, he's part of what's called the Lovelace family.
Yeah. Oh, what's it Lovelace? That's a great last name.
Yeah, the Lovelace.
But and he keeps talking about how his maid Roberta is gonna come and save him, and Revy laughs because the idea of a maid fighting her is fucking funny.
Yeah.
And they do eventually get to the... Rock does bring up a point to Dutch of like, we might be getting kind of screwed here if the kid is telling the truth, so maybe we should wait a bit on and see what's really going on.
Yeah, because like obviously, and the thing I do like about that is he's like, besides the moral implications, thinking of it strictly from a business standpoint, we could be getting screwed here.
Yeah, something could be going wrong here. So Dutch calls Balalaika look into things, and they head to the Yellow Flag, which is the bar that got shot up in the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, I don't think we explained what Roamper is. It's basically Arkham City, except there's no walls holding everyone in.
As they describe it, the asshole of the world.
Oh, I want to talk about a line from season 2 because I love it so much. But we'll get to it. So they head to the Yellow Flag, but also we've been seeing sort of a B plot happening, and not the emotional B plot, the actual B plot, where it turns out the maid has come to Roanapur and was looking around for the Colombians.
Yeah, there's a great comedic cut where Revy says something like, "Oh, the maid's gonna come and save you." Just immediately cuts to her on the boat coming to Roanapur.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole thing, she's kind of been asking around. It's like, you know where I can find my fellow countrymen.
Yeah, she has a very sweet, high-pitched voice. She's very ladylike, has her little suitcase and umbrella.
Yep. And
she also happens to be at the Yellow Flag as Lagoon arrives. So do the Colombians.
Yeah, Colombians actually find her. They're like, so we've even been asking around about us.
And then as Revy walks in the door, Roberta is a shotgun umbrella with which was actually just a Spaz 12 gauge with an umbrella on top to blow away one of the Colombians. It's the coolest fucking thing.
It's the Kingsman umbrella before the Kingsman umbrella. It's great.
It turns out that Roberta is actually a one of the top soldiers. What was she called? The Bloodhound?
Yeah.
She's known as the Bloodhound and was hiding out as a maid so that way her enemies didn't find her and fucking kill her.
Mm-hmm.
And she has now come to get the boy.
The boy. Yeah.
But since he's a little kid and just watches a maid he knew as a friend violently murder people with a shotgun and a machine gun briefcase, he gets kind of disturbed and decides to leave with the Lagoon Company.
Yeah.
As they quickly get out of the bar before Roberta basically blows it all to hell.
Yeah. The Bloodhound of Florencia. That's what she's known as.
Nice. I'm not going to call her that. I'm going to call her Roberta now because she does a a Terminator thing where she walks out of the flaming bar unscratched.
They straight up say she's the Terminator in the episode.
Oh yeah, they do make the joke of her being the Terminator.
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny because on the wiki it says how people refer to her, like, her nickname's Bloodhound of Florencia and stuff, and it just says Revy refers to her as that fucking glasses bitch. It's amazing.
But okay, this is probably where the show gets the least realistic.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, because we noticed too. There's so many moments.
You got cut off. What was that?
Yeah, we noticed during the first time watching this that there were so many moments that even for the show was kind of stretching our suspension of belief a little bit. Like when Revy gets hit in the stomach with a fucking grenade.
Oh yeah, I forgot the suitcase is also a grenade launcher and hits Revy dead up. Not it hits the bar right below Revy and knocks her off.
No,
it
clearly
hits her in the stomach.
Clearly looks like it goes straight to her stomach, just knocks her out. And it's funny because she's in the back seat during that whole car chase, just clonked out.
Yeah, it does cut to her often, just like
just completely unconscious.
I'd like to note my brain was about to say just lean back and sit silently. That I remember this is an audio podcast.
This isn't what?
No, this is an audio podcast, so
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
Here, let me make a face for all of you. Yeah.
Right?
Fucking hell.
But yeah, even Roberta, obviously, she's supposed to be super over the top. The grenades blowing up and the bar going up in flames and her just casually walking out of it without a scratch. And then the moment where, like, they actually, at the end of the car chase, where they just the car crashes and she flies into the fucking, what is it, a bin? Or, like, the giant
Shipping crate.
Shipping crate, just flies into it, just gets dented into it. We were just like, dead.
But no, she gets up and is still able to run around.
Yeah. But yeah,
also during this, Balalaika has figured out who Roberta is.
Yeah, because she looks at photos and she's like, look at her eyes. Oh, wait a minute. Damn it. And this is the first episode where we do see the full force of Hotel Moscow.
That's such a cool name.
It is, because it's kind of just hinted at beforehand that, like, this is a big organization. But then we actually see them, like, get organized and get out, and, like, she's leading all these, like, hundreds of men and stuff. And when they actually do show up for the final brawl, Rock's like, who are all these people?
It's Hotel Moscow.
Yep, it's fucking Hotel Moscow.
Yeah, before Revy and Roberta kill each other, like, they're literally on the ground about to shoot each other in the head, Balalaika shows up and is like, okay, ladies, stop it.
Yeah. Like I said that, okay, ladies.
Okay, ladies, you need to stop.
Yeah. Basically, yeah,
she does not have that thick of a
No,
Russian
she doesn't. Her accent kind of comes through a little bit sometimes. But
It does.
But yeah, no, fucking for the most part she just kind of talks normally.
But she does allow the two to fist fight, which ends in basically a draw.
It's great, yeah, because they're about to kill each other, and Balak is being all threatening, and she's like, stop this, and then I think one of them raises their guns, and they shoot it out of their hand. She's like, that was not, I'm not asking. And then, yeah, because they talk about it, and then Revy's like, hey, I need some payback for this hole she put through my arm. We're criminals. We kind of live by code system. And she's like, oh, you're right. Okay, you two do get out.
And then Rock tries to stop it, which they immediately tell him to fuck off.
Yeah, it's great because Rock's like, oh, this isn't right. Because everyone's like placing bets. Who do you think's going to win? And Rock's like, this isn't right. And I love how, like, Balalaika almost teasingly says, she's like, oh, then why don't you go stop them?
Go for it.
Yeah.
You think she, like, kind of hand signaled for a sniper to be ready to stop them from killing Rock?
Probably. But yeah, no, they tell them to fuck off, and then it's great because they keep beating each other up basically all night. They're just sitting there all night beating each other up, and then at the end, finally, they swing a punch and knock each other out at the same time.
But then Roberta gets to go home with her little boy, and the Lagoon Company learned nothing.
They basically learned nothing, yeah, because she actually, Roberta wakes up before Revy, so that means she technically won it because Revy is clonked out.
No, there was a tie.
It was basically a tie, but yeah, Garcia goes away with her, and then, yeah.
And then that's where we end that arc.
A very, very fun arc, and basically, again, it's like you said, it's the arc that hooked you into the show. It's like, yeah, I'm watching this.
Well, no, I didn't even watch the entire episode. I just watched the bar exploding and the maid running out. What show is this? Black Lagoon. All right, I'm watching this, I guess.
Oh, it's great. This is one of my favorite arcs in the whole show. It's amazing.
We should also talk about the car chase of this episode,
Yeah.
which, for manga purists, it was a lot shorter in the manga.
Yeah, because in manga form, it is harder to do an extended car chase, but here they do draw it out, and it's really fucking cool.
With Roberta basically teleporting like Jason, except
Yeah.
she's able to drive cars on roofs.
Yeah, it's a great moment, because they think they found lost her, and just all of a sudden you see the car drive up the roof, just... Oh, it's fucking amazing.
When she has, like, the kick-ass trench knife in the
Yeah,
fucking car.
like runs up the car, like digs the knife into it and just looks up like the fucking Teen 1000. It's great. Yeah, it's fucking great. It's one of my favorite arcs in the show. But yeah, that was Roberta.
Yeah, that one's character-wise, not much is learned on.
No, not much happens. But yeah, no, it's just a fun.
It's more character-wise, we get to see Roberta, who does. I don't think it's a spoiler to say she shows up in the OVA since it is called Roberta's Blood Trail.
It's literally called Roberta's Blood Trail. Yeah, like they knew that there was more they could do with it, so yeah, they brought her back for the OVA.
And we learn more about Balalaika's power, which will be important later next season.
Yes.
And we have the final arc,
which we actually just watched right before recording this.
Mainly because we forget very often. Because, okay, when we say something is bad in this show, or if we say an episode is bad, that's like a 7 out of 10 instead of a 9.
Yeah. Exactly.
But this is definitely the weakest arc. One, and this isn't me being a book purist, this is me kind of estimating. In the manga, it's written differently, and they verse the Taliban, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, something like that. And again, like, he's not a manga purist because there are animes we think are better that don't follow the manga. Trust me, we're not like that. We're not going to be like, well, in the manga.
Yeah. I honestly could care less. It's just, since they had to change things from the manga, I think
that's why it came across as so weak. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the character development between the two villains.
Mm-hmm.
Because it feels like we are supposed to care when one of the villains die.
Yeah.
But he was hardly in it at all. Well, I'll quickly summarize. We meet a man named Chang. He works for... He's basically kind of the FBI, the CIA contact for doing shady shit.
Yeah.
And they need to get documents to some military to fight a rebel group.
Yeah, because they mentioned earlier on the reason Chang came to them is because people are trying to fucking kill him. Like that whole explosion at the embassy was meant for him. And so he goes to them saying, hey, can you take care of this?
Yeah, so they come up with a plan sending a bunch of decoy briefcases, but Lagoon Company has the actual briefcase.
Yeah. And so he sends them off. So before he can send them off, they get attacked.
They get attacked, and there's a fucking rat as two people, dual-wielding pistol fight scene in the halls of this building.
Yeah, the opening action scene is fucking amazing.
The action scenes in these arcs are fucking... In this arc is fucking great.
Yeah.
However, the story is where it falls flat, because they head to... I think it's like somewhere in Africa.
It's basically either Africa or South America. It's one of the two.
They couldn't have gone all the way to South America.
No, where is Roanapur hinted to be at?
In China. It's in South China.
Oh, it's in the South China Sea. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, so Africa, yeah.
They say this in the first episode.
Okay, yeah, so Africa.
Yeah. So they head on down to Africa. The group splits up with Revy and Rock having to find their own way on foot, and Dutch and Benny getting put in the fridge for the rest of the episode.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They kind of just never appear after the opening, do they?
Yep, they never come back.
Oh, that's funny. You're right. You're absolutely right.
They go to the drop-off point, and they did know a password. They had a code word before, but they changed it. But
they changed it. Yeah, they changed it last minute just to make sure that this was the real guy. And it turns out, yeah, he wasn't the real guy. He was trying to intercept it.
It wasn't the real guy. He's the head of the rebel group who wants the plan so that way they can take out the military.
Mm-hmm.
And Revy, not following her own advice from the Nazi arc, doesn't shoot and decides to monologue. During that time, the guy in the car also pulls out a gun. No one is hit, but Rock tries to run away with the briefcase and gets kidnapped.
Yeah, kind of doesn't go well.
Which, for some reason, he runs down the road instead of into the alley right behind them.
Which, I mean, yeah, I'd be mad at Rock, too. That's entirely his fault.
That was mostly his fault, yeah. But then, after running away from rebel soldiers for a bit, Revy runs into their getaway driver, who is, okay, I'm going to say what the show calls them. This is not my own personal commentary.
No, because the show obviously has a very, like, crude sense of humor. This is not us actually saying this.
Exactly. And yes, I know she does have a name, but the show constantly calls her Chinglish.
Yeah.
So
yeah, her real name is Shenhua, but no one ever remembers that. It's Revy calls her Chinglish all the time. It's terrible.
because she's bad at speaking English.
Yeah.
I actually didn't mean to do that.
Good job, Justin.
Thanks, Brain. Love you. Also, their driver is constantly high.
Yeah, he's an Irishman who gets high all the time.
Chinglish is as bad as Taiwanese woman who has basically blades on strings, which is just cool.
A Taiwanese, a China woman, and an Irish guy all get into a car.
Irishman driving a car. Rock gets interrogated a bit, but nothing. They don't get anything out of him because Rock is a good boy, doesn't snitch like a bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Revy quickly explains to the getaway drivers that, yo, we need the papers, which Rock has, otherwise we're going to show up like a bunch of assholes to the military base with nothing.
Yep.
So they go and save Rock. Badass action scene of escaping with Rock, and the head of the rebel group. There were two heads. One guy was much more crazy about it than the other.
Yeah.
The crazy guy gets shot. It's supposed to be dramatic, but as we said a little bit ago, there wasn't much weight to it.
Yeah, and that action scene we were talking about, like right beforehand, where they're escaping and all that, it's played mostly for laughs, and it is fucking hilarious because the Irish guy is just high on all this weed, and instead of driving away from the base, drives back into the base, and so the bases find the car and they're all chasing after him.
Yeah, you watch Chinglish like whip her knife around and chop off 3 heads at once.
Freaking awesome.
She poses in front of an explosion on top of the car, then Revy goes up and then does the sick ass pose in front of the explosion.
It just the faces like Revy and Rock make just crack me up.
Oh yeah, because Rock does weed too, but instead of being chill, he becomes more of a panic.
Yeah, because like Revy, like when she's mad at the driver, her angry face kills me every time.
Yeah, they use I'll call them chipified faces.
Yeah, it's more exaggerated and cartoony than usual.
Yeah, but they're used sparingly enough to not get annoying, and they're well timed so it doesn't ruin any dramatic moments.
Exactly. But yeah, Rock has like these squinty eyes and just a line for a mouth when he's high on weed.
He's also just gay annoyed as Chinglish and Revy argue over who gets to kill.
Yeah, like Revy jumps up and steps on Rock, and he just has this annoyed face. Oh, it's a great action scene.
But they get to the military base, and it turns out Revy had the papers in between her tits the entire time.
Yeah. And obviously Chinglish is like, oh, come on. Why did you didn't tell us? And she's like,
why did you go save this stupid butthole?
She talks like that. Again, that's not us. She literally talks like that.
She also has a weird fascination with carving Revy's ass.
Yeah, I don't know why. But
I think the writer just couldn't think of better insults.
Yeah. But no, she's like, oh, come on. You had the whole time. She's like, well, yeah, you wouldn't have gone back if you didn't have a reason.
And then they hand off the papers to these cops who know who Revy is. And they bring up, mentioning what she's become to the cops who, I guess, used to beat the shit out of her.
It's weird because they mention this and she's, clearly her face is oh, shit, shocked by it. But this never comes up again throughout the entire series.
Yeah, I don't know if it's mentioned more in the manga. I do need to read it. I'd also like to mention in the manga, things are out of order.
Yeah.
After the opening arc, it's Roberta, then the Nazi boat, then this, whatever this counts as.
Yeah.
All I have in the notes is it's called Kidnapped. I don't think I got creative with the name here because I didn't care.
Yeah. And like I said, the action is good, the humor is really funny, but the problem is the story is just kind of needlessly complicated, and the two villains are not developed, like, practically at all. Like, there's supposed to be clearly something between the two, but the one, like, the fat guy, I guess, whatever his name is, like, the main guy, but then there's also, like, the guy with the beard who, like, says all this stuff, but he kind of never, like, only appears 3 times in the whole arc.
Yeah, he appears at the beginning. He's in the interrogation with Rock for a bit, but doesn't say much.
Yeah.
And he's at the end where he gets shot.
Yeah, well, they talk in the office, but yeah, he's at the in the climax.
Oh yeah, there's talking in the office as
yeah,
well.
he's in like the beginning when they're talking, their interrogation, and the climax, but the relationship between the two is never really delved into, and it kind of falls flat because of that, and just because, again, the story is just needlessly complicated. Like, they could have just said, like, you know, okay, we need the papers, but no, they like go into like this deep philosophical ramblings, and it just kind of just goes nowhere.
There is the one funny moment. I know you burst laughing when the bearded guy, where I think his name was it's not Takawada was the composed rebellion,
and then the bearded guy, yeah, because it was just unintentionally funny to me.
Takawada's like, no matter what you do, it can't bring your son back. It shows like this dark, quick flashback implying that his son was in a bombing or something.
Yeah, because like they're talking and he just says in this grave tone, "Doing this will never bring your son back." It just hard cuts the thing, just like a baby crying, "Wah!" And then it just cuts back. I think it was just,
and then it immediately cuts back to Chinglish talking, which is clearly a joke.
I think it was just so out of nowhere and so dark that it just became unintentionally funny to me.
It was a pretty stupid moment.
Oh my god, yeah, just the timing was just so poorly done. I just died laughing. I was like, I just forgot. That just got needlessly dark. Oh my god.
But this is like my 4th time through the series.
Yeah, and my 3rd.
I will admit, I didn't realize the growth of Rock during this episode, too. And a bit of Revy. It shows that Revy does actually give a shit about Rock because she goes and saves him, even though at the beginning of the show, she would have totally just gave the papers and ran.
Yeah. No, exactly, yeah.
But, also, you see Rock stop caring? In the sense of, because he defended the boy in the Roberta arc because he got connected. He clearly grows a connection with Takawada.
Yeah, because he gives
I'm gonna keep saying his name is Takawada. I'm probably wrong.
Oh, you're butchering it, but yeah, because yeah, like he does the whole, you know, stereotypical villain speech of, oh, you know, you and me, we're actually the same, blah blah blah.
And before in the show, he would, you know, complain and be like, yo, we don't have to fucking kill everyone. But here he, like, kind of looks up and just kind of goes, it's not worth it. It's just going to happen.
He just kind of gives up and just kind of accepts the fact that, you know, he's not going to stop these two from killing them.
This is the world he lived in. This is their choice. And
yeah,
what's going to happen.
This was the world he chose to be in willingly. And, you know, this is the consequences. It's a life he chose.
I'm not sure if I have anything else to say with this arc.
Because then it ends and it's like, you know, oh, everything's fine. Got the papers to the CIA. The end.
I would like to mention some of the episode names.
Oh, they're great. I love the titles and some of these.
Because there's Eagle Hunting and Hunting Eagles, Moonlit Hunting Grounds, Calm Down 2 Men, Made to Kill, The Unstoppable Chambermaid, Lock and Load Revolution. The show has great episode names.
The OVA has some of my favorite episode names too, but again, we'll get to that. I'm so excited to get to all this.
Oh, it doesn't actually in the collector's edition. It doesn't list the names of the OVA episodes.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, it lists them on my OVA thing because I know you gave yours to Jarek, right?
I bought a second one.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because it was at like a half-price books for $10 or something.
Nice.
Yeah, dude, I have 2 copies of this show. I have the collector's edition and I have the set.
So do I. I have the collector's edition and the normal set.
And if I ever find the metal case DVD version, I'm buying.
Oh, yes.
And you can't stop me.
Oh, hurt me more.
I fucking love it. This is my favorite anime.
Yeah.
Time.
It's definitely, like, for me, favorite animes kind of rotate my top 3, but I'd be very hard pressed to choose between this and Cowboy Bebop. Those are my 2 favorite animes of all time, Black Lagoon and Cowboy Bebop.
I just, as someone who like wants to create, I connect more with Black Lagoon. Bebop, critically speaking, Bebop is better.
Well, no, Bebop also did like influence a lot creativity as well. So,
no, I'm saying in my brain though, like, critically speaking, Bebop is a better show.
Well, that's a little unfair though.
I'm not getting into this.
Why not?
I'm not getting into this is unfair. It's saying what would critically. I think Bebop would be critically better. With,
you mean I thought? Oh, okay. You mean
from
like
a critical standpoint?
Okay,
like,
I thought you were saying like, oh well, the critics say it's better. I'm like, what the fuck does that matter?
I'm just saying like the separation.
I got you.
Bebop is better, but personally, Black Lagoon is above it.
Yeah, both those shows resonate very hard with me personally. So for me personally, it would be very hard to choose between the 2. If
you're wondering my top 3, ladies and gentlemen, number 3 is Fooly Cooly. That adds season 2. I'm not talking about season 3. Cowboy Bebop and Black Lagoon.
My top 3
in no particular order. I'll stay for you. Top 3.
Except for number 1, which is Black Lagoon.
It better be, or you're fucking dead.
No, I'm
kidding.
In no particular order for me. Definitely Bebop and Black Lagoon are in the top, but I debate between Trigun and Psycho-Pass. That's a really hard one because I love both of those shows.
Those are both really good choices.
That'd probably be hell. That's my top 4, I'd say.
Psycho-Pass or Trigun? I don't know. I would have to think longer on that, but that's for another time.
No, that's for another time. But I'm just saying, like, Bebop and Lagoon are 2 huge influences when it comes to stuff for me personally. But yeah, fucking. It does, getting back to the conversation about Black Lagoon, it does kind of suck that season 1 ends on such a not good note.
I mean, I think it ends all right since it's a big action scene. And it shows, Revy's becoming a bit more likable.
Yeah, Revy's
Rock is less of a wimp because he didn't sell out.
Yeah, it could have been better done plot wise, if I'm being honest.
It feels like it needed another episode, but they probably
didn't. Well, because at that point they were already at 10 episodes, and it's 12 episode season.
Yep.
And it's like, we wanted to go to 13, but they were limited to 12, so they might have just been forced to cram that into 2 episodes.
But luckily, next season, the second barrage gets a pretty big budget improvement.
Not to mention, that's just a great title, The Second Barrage.
Yeah, it fits pretty well. Is there anything else we want to talk about for season 1?
No, just, again, really solid opening to one of our favorite animes ever. So,
yeah, that's. I mean, quickly, music is good. I don't have much else to say.
Yeah, that's the thing. Obviously, animation is awesome. Like it's beautiful and striking at times, but also it's nothing like.
Oh, actually, that is something I want to talk about.
Okay.
Then. Of the color. The color is so vibrant in this show.
Yeah, because it takes place in more of a tropical area, so it's more brighter, more vibrant colors.
Yeah, but you would think with something where it's like, it's a town of criminals, it's all about crime, and you'd think they would have darker colors, but like during sunsets or even the sea, there's these very vibrant, poppy colors.
And yeah, it's a great contrast between, this looks pretty, but this town is fucking dangerous and seedy as hell.
And also, it helps keep the tone pretty light, even though we're dealing with heavy topics like human trafficking, neo-Nazis, and all that shit.
I think it does get a little darker in season 2, honestly.
Oh, yeah, we're going to. talk about
Yeah,
that.
like this is more light compared to some of the themes, especially in the Vampire Twins. How fucked
yeah,
up!
I know what scene
Oh
you're thinking about.
fucking god, that ugh.
Oh wait, actually no. There's multiple things in the Vampire.
Yeah, there is the Vampire Twins and some of the stuff at the ending arc as well. It just gets dark.
The ending arc of before the OVA is when things get probably the most serious.
Yes, like that's the last arc of the season. It's the longest arc of the series, and it's supposed to be, the big finale until the OVA. So,
But that is for another
Yeah.
time.
yeah, season 1, solid opening, has a few issues, but all in all, great way to open the show.
Pretty sure this episode is longer than season 2 of Gravity Falls. Which
Oh
I find
no!
funny.
I'm at an hour 33, and that's not cutting out the 10 minutes of intro. So I think Gravity Falls season 2 was almost 2 hours.
Damn it. Oh, there's always a second barrage, isn't there?
Yep.
But next is it? Did we just do Taxi Driver or is next Taxi Driver?
Let me check the order real quick. Again, I have the order written down when it comes to the project files, but we've been recording these out of order. So let's see. The Vantage Point. No. Up next is Django Unchained. Taxi Driver was the one before this.
Okay. Next is Django Unchained, and
It'll be the first one where we're in person for a while.
Yeah, that'll be not technically the first one. That was the
Nice Guys and Jedi. Yeah, Nice Guys and Last Jedi was the first time. But yeah, this is coming up. You'll be able to hear us in person.
Yeah, and we finally hit the section of the fucking wheel with movies we've both seen.
It still makes me laugh.
But yeah, thank you again so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye, guys.